Last episode, I did this, that, and this. And in today's episode, we're doing this. Oh, sorry, was that blurry? That happens sometimes. I guess you'll have to watch the video all the way through then, as we make a start over here on our main street in the theme park, which I've decided we're actually going to be naming Steam Boulevard, because it's going to be a very sort of fantasy, whimsical, steampunky area. So it's going to be a street packed with lots of colour, lots of movement, and of course, buildings. But first I need to put in what's going to be the focal point of this area, which is going to be a monorail station, probably around here somewhere, I think. And hopefully that means we'll actually be building our very first train in this world, which is going to be a steampunky monorail train, and I'm very much looking forward to that. And if we look at our map here, we are on an island, so I think having a monorail that kind of has a station here and then has a station in each of the different themed areas we're going to have and does a big loop of the island is going to be a good thing. It's going to be a good way for visitors to tour the park, it's going to be a good way for getting around the park, but most importantly, it's going to be a great way for us to transfer resources from all the different areas of the park back here to Main Street, which is going to be our main storage. But before I can make a start on that monorail station, I do need to extend this sort of brown muddy path we've got down both sides of the street, so we know exactly what we're working with. And that means I'm going to need to make use of the farms we built last episode, collect loads of wheat. We should hopefully have enough mud. We did actually get quite a lot of mud last time we went exploring and dug some up, so at least the mud won't be a problem. But something that will be a problem, as always, is going to be zinc. Because this path is made out of slabs, and the mud blocks themselves, you can't actually make slabs out of them, just the default ones. For some reason, even though you can make brick ones. So before we get stuck into today's episode, I need to do lots and lots of resource collection. Oh, and another thing. Look at this. Look at the way our horse moves now. I did actually find a way to get fresh animations working on Forge now. It never used to work because you used to have Optifine, but there's now another mod you can use instead which gets fresh animations to work, which is... Oh, no. But as I was saying, I have found a way to get the fresh animations on here now, which are basically much better monster animations and means we will no longer have bouncy creepers. They should just walk around in a little bit of a creepy way. In fact, let's go have a look and see how they walk now, but hopefully not springy and bouncy. Yeah, look at that, look. That's much better. Oh, yep, better run. But that's affected everything, so the skeletons move better as well, and they die better. So it is just a small change, but I have an arrow in my head. Okay. But yes, it is just a small change, but it does make me very happy, especially when riding the horse. I love that animation. Oh, geez, the spiders look creepy as anything, though. Look at that. Ugh. Go away. Though this does tell me I need to light up my areas better. So, zinc, the bane of my life. Very hard to get hold of. We can eventually automate it by automating tough and so on, but we're nowhere near that stage yet. So our only method to get it is actually to mine. And last episode I was looking for an azurine deposit, because it's a nice easy way to get zinc, and I didn't really have any luck. But since then, I have actually found one, and it's just off this coast here. I noticed it when I was coming back from the mob farm, so if we have a look right here, look. This is what we're after, azurine. And I don't know how big this deposit is, but what I do know is I'm going to slap down my miner and dig out as much of it as I can. And because I'm smart and I built my drill using a... Okay, that has not rendered well at all. But because I've built my drill using a furnace minecart, it means it will work underwater. Oh, I don't really want to take off the end of that island. I think what I'm actually going to do is just dig down a few levels here instead. And, oh, geez, there's loads of bits down here as well. Hello. This is good. Let's see if we can find the edge of it. I think this might actually be this edge on this side. Let's go this way a little bit. We'll make ourselves a little tunnel so we can breathe, and then yeah, we'll just send off the miner in that direction. And I'm hoping I can get away with this without having to dig out too much. Let's see what happens. Give that some coal. Well, it seems to be going okay. Yeah, look at that, loads of azurine. This is actually a huge deposit. Look how far it goes. Well, I've made a right mess of this area down here, but hopefully we've got a whole lot of azurine. Oh yes, look at that. We've got over 3,000 of the stuff. This should solve our zinc problem for a while at least, because if I put all of this in here, we're going to get a whole lot of crushed raw zinc. But while I'm here, I think I'm going to repair my pickaxe. It's not looking too healthy, is it? We're going to get loads of zinc nuggets as well, by the looks of it. Well, I didn't get as much zinc out of that as I was hoping, to be perfectly honest. But it does turn out there's only a 30% chance of actually getting zinc from azurine. So yeah, probably should have checked that first. But either way, I'm still happy. I've got lots and lots of zinc that we can now get cooked up. So once again, it would help if I turned off my backpack magnet. In fact, let's not cook it up. Let's wash it, because I think if we wash it, we also get like XP, maybe some other stuff. Not entirely sure what though. Let's see what happens. Nope, we just got a whole lot of nuggets. And there we have it. We got about 1,200 zinc ingots, which is definitely going to be enough for today. Well, that's not going to solve our problems in the long term. Not even slightly. Now we've got the zinc. What we can do is take a whole bunch of this mud. In fact, I should probably just dump that straight into my backpack. We've got plenty of mud, but we're going to need lots and lots of wheat as well. So I'm going to grab some bones from the mob farm, and then we're just going to stand in front of our tiny wheat making machine. And I don't know how long we're going to be there for, but we need a lot of wheat, so probably quite a while. Let's turn that on. Let's turn that down. That's going to drive me mad otherwise. And I'll see you in a bit. Well, we've got ourselves a couple of thousand wheat and lots of seeds. We'll probably just compost those down into more bone meal, but the wheat, that's what we need, because what we need to make is a whole bunch of mud. Okay, just like that. Yeah, there we go. That's what we need, packed mud. And we're going to convert some of that into mud bricks as well. In fact, that's probably enough, I reckon. Then we just need to convert the zinc into a whole bunch of copycat slabs. Going to need some bites as well for the curbs, as well as, if we can find them, the copycat steps, because, well, that's just a bit cheaper for us to do the curbs on the wider sections. The last thing we're going to need for these paths is a bunch of brown mushroom blocks, which I don't know how many we've actually got left, so there's every likelihood I have to harvest myself some of those as well. But at least we've got bone meal now, so that's going to make that a whole lot easier. Let's just see if I can find where I put them. They're around here somewhere. Aha, here we go. Leftover mud blocks as well. Perfect. But now we have everything we need to be able to go make these paths. Let's go. And we've got a whole lot of paths to place. So you're probably going to get one of those quick like block placement things, and I'll see you in about 3 seconds. And there we go, that's some more paths in. I haven't gone all around the circle here because, well, I don't really need to. Yeah, I don't actually know what I'm going to be doing over there just yet, but the main street is now in. We will, of course, adjust this path as we need to when we put in the buildings and, of course, the monorail station in just a moment. But I have decided I don't really like how the road looks at the moment. It just looks a little bit boring, so we will change this up. We'll get some patterns in there. We'll have a nice decorated road as we move forward. Probably not today, because for now, what I want to do is get in this monorail station. And I think we're going to start this station around here somewhere, and we're going to have like a bridge that goes across the road, and that's going to be our main platform. But it does mean, of course, we're going to need a way up to the platform, so we'll probably put some stairs in around the side here as well. But I don't want to be building it out of stone, and we don't really have much else on us at the moment. Let's head back to our construction site, grab a whole bunch of resources, and then we can make a start on this. Right, I'm back here with a bunch of stuff that should hopefully help, and we're going to start off just by building a sort of a column, I guess, to hold this side of the platform. Maybe about 10 or so blocks wide. That should do fine. And we are, of course, going to need a way up onto the platform as well. So I think what we're going to do is just jam some stairs in here for now. We'll probably change these up, but, well, we've got stone, so we're going to use stone for now. And I think what I want to do at the top here is use these industrial blocks, and then we'll have this as a core part of the bridge which goes across. I think that's going to look a little bit more steampunky. Maybe it needs some girders as well. Do love a girder over here, don't we? Let's give it a go. If we would stick girders up under there, then maybe we'll just stretch those all the way across the road. Yeah, I think this could work quite nicely. So people are going to come up these stairs here. We're going to need a little bit of a platform bit here, and then we'll have the main platform on this side. But I don't think I want to build the platform out of tuff and things. I think I want to give it a bit of colour, you know. Maybe just use a slightly brighter block, and I'm thinking potentially sandstone. The issue with that is I don't think I've got much, if any, sandstone, so we might have to go do a bit of digging. Let's go have a look and see what we've got. Well, we've got quite a lot of sandstone that we have turned into pillars, but we can always turn it back, I suppose. At least we haven't got to go back to that desert again. It's miles away. Now, if we were to have this platform, say, 3 blocks deep, that's probably going to be enough. We'll carry that on around this corner here as well. Yep, I quite like that. Nice and light. So what I do need to do is basically reflect that over on this side. There we go. That should work nicely. And what we want to do, of course, is to put a monorail rail in. So, oh, no, that's not what we want. Let's just use girders here for now. And then we can stick the monorail directly on top of this. At least that's my current thinking. Now, let's just get the rest of these walls built up, I think. Make this a little bit more solid. Then we can see what we're working with. Looking good. It's a bit more solid now. Oh, yep, to the point where I'm now trapped. I intended. And because we're going to have buildings on either side of these bits, I'm not too concerned about how messy this side looks here and here because, well, as I say, the buildings are going to cover those up anyway. I think what I want to focus on now is actually this side here. Well, both sides, in fact, because the main view as you walk down the high street, obviously you're going to see the buildings on either side, but you're going to have this bridge going right across the middle, and then when you go under it, you're going to see the statue in the center as well. So this bit here, I think, needs to look pretty good. So I'm going to have a little mess around and see what I can come up with. Well, I'm making some progress over here. I think it's looking pretty good so far. We'll get some lights underneath as well, but I do like the use of these water wheels and cogs. I think they just add to the sort of steampunky feel of the area. The industrial iron and the girders really work, and I really like these vertical supports. Angled supports, that's what I mean. These look really good. But what I want to do now is to get a roof on this thing, and I want to do that in a sort of turquoisey color. which is why I have a giant field of copper over here. I've just laid this down and already some of it has started to turn, which is awesome. But I do need to wait for all of this to oxidize, and apart from that, I do want to get lots of glass in the roof as well. And we know from looking in our sandbox just a moment ago, we don't really have much sand. We've got a little bit of sandstone, but no sand. And that means we can't make glass. So I am going to need to make a trip to the desert after all. Or actually, instead of doing that, I can use my brain. We've got lots and lots of cobble. We can just grind that down into gravel and then sand. That's definitely going to be quicker. I'm glad I remembered that before I went all the way to the desert. Now let's just chuck all this in here, do a couple of cycles, and we should end up with a box of sand. Wonderful. Now I've got a whole lot of sand. Let's just get all of that cooked up, and we should have enough glass to keep us going for quite a while. How's it going? Oh, into my backpack again. Of course it has. Right, there we go. And then once we've got this, we're just going to need to wait for all that copper field to oxidize. So I'll probably go stand over there and go get myself some lunch. Well, I've just come back from lunch and there's a trader outside being chased by a zombie. And with these new animations, it's absolutely hilarious. Look at him go. Just has a look of sheer panic on his face when he starts running, and I absolutely love it. As you can see from my copper field, though, it's not all completely turned yet, but we've certainly got enough to make a start. Let's just help this trader out and get rid of this dude. I've no idea how long Vanessa over here has been being tormented. Ooh, you're selling globes. I mean, I don't need any. I've already got some, but good effort. Anyway, I'm going to pick up all of this copper that I do want to use, and I do wonder if I put these sort of weathered ones inside frames, I'm pretty sure they don't turn, because I did put some on my boat, and they're still looking weathered, and that way I can actually use some of these without having to worry about getting beeswax. And it means we can add a bit more character to the roof over there. I've picked up all the copper, we've got a variety of glass. Let's see if we can get a roof down. And I'm gonna start with some stairs on the side here, if it'll let me place them. Why can't I place them? Do I need to put a block there first? I think I need something to stand on so I can, yep, there we go. Right, and for now, I'm just gonna do it all in the same copper, and then we can come back and texture it a little bit later. Just wanna see if the color's gonna work first. And what we're going to do is have like a copper border, and then we're going to have big glass panels over the roof. I think that's going to make it look quite stationary. Ah, I fell off. I'd be lying if I said that didn't happen just a minute ago as well. But as I was saying, I think the glass and the copper combined is going to make quite a nice roof. And what we'll do is, I think, make it arched. So if I was to get a couple of blocks in there, and then a couple of blocks there, just to help us with the placement of these things. In fact, I think what I might do, because I don't like the way that that's sort of connecting and making three of those connectors, is I might actually raise this bar up, stick it in across here instead. Then we can get a couple of slabs in here like this. Then maybe have these ones in here. How's that looking? Doesn't look quite right, does it? Maybe I need to lower this outer beam by one. Let's quickly give that a go. It might give it a slightly nicer overhang here as well. We'll just start the roof lower down and sticking out by one here. Right, how's that looking? Okay, I think I definitely prefer that. Also looks better from down here as well, because the gears are just a little bit more hidden, and I quite like that they kind of reveal themselves as you get closer. Yeah, I like that. So I'm just going to crack on and get the rest of this roof in. I've got the roof finished. It's certainly looking good, and I did get it up just in the nick of time as it started raining again. Must have built this theme park in England. But I think that looks absolutely awesome. I love that roof. But we're not done yet. This thing needs some details. Maybe we can get some fans in the ceiling or something. Maybe even in the top of these beams, potentially. Need to get some lighting, some benches. And to be honest, I kind of want to put a pattern on the floor as well. I think it looks a bit bland at the moment. So we can maybe use some sandstone variants and get some kind of decoration in here. And in fact, I think I actually want to put an extra kind of... Ow! Who did that? Oh, is there a skelly down there? Yep, there is. But what I was trying to say is I think I want to put in some kind of a platform edge here just to tie it together a little bit more. Uh-oh, it's all me. Instead of using blocks of industrial iron, if we use blocks of industrial plating, then I believe we get a connected texture. Yeah, look at that. That's going to look much better for the platform edge. But besides all that, I also need to change these stairs because they look horrible, and maybe a little bit of texture on this wall. So I guess maybe time for a cheeky little montage. Feel like we've not had one of them in ages. Well, this is looking so much better now. Look at this. I love the fans at the top. I think they really, really work well. They sort of, provide some ventilation in here. We've got the clock, which is actually telling you the in-game time, which is lovely too. We've got some benches. We've got a lovely patterned floor. And I've even put in a sort of entrance rail here thing as well, so people can actually queue. I don't know if any of you have ever been to sort of Disneyland or anything like that, but the monorails, the trains and things like that, they do still have queue lines. So I just wanted to give a nod to that at the start here as well, with these little arrows telling you what direction to go in. There's also an exit one over there, which is much simpler, of course, because people don't need to queue up to exit. That would just be weird. Stairs down here are looking better as well, and I particularly like these sort of grates we've got going on here, because I am about to put in the monorail, which is going to go across the top, and these grates are just a little bit of protection, and I think it really adds a lot to the underside of the bridge here. But yes, we are actually missing the monorail itself, so that's what we're going to go make next, and once we've got that in, actually have a look at making a monorail train, which is going to be an interesting one. So if we need monorail, my first question is, how do we make monorail? So we need girders, we need brackets, and we need iron sheets. To make brackets, we need basically iron and a bit of andesite alloy, and then we need alloy and iron sheets again. So basically we need lots of andesite alloy and lots of iron. That's easy enough. So I guess I'm going to be spending a bit of time in the workshop here, making up our resources, and then we'll probably convert this machine, I think, to be able to make our andesite alloy. Nope, that's not what I meant. We'll convert this machine to make our monorails. Yep, that's the one. So we're going to need lots of brackets. We're going to want brackets in one of these boxes. We're going to want iron sheets in another one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the third one, remove that, and then if we dump a load of girders in here, that should turn them into monorails and store them in there. Grab all this andesite alloy out of these, grab these iron sheets from here, and we're going to make a whole load of girders. Dump all those in there, and as I say, hopefully... No, we're not getting monorail. Metal girder, metal bracket, iron sheet. That is correct. Oh, okay, I see the problem. First off, I need to set this to only exit one. I need to actually give those some power, and then I need to dump all the girders in here, but hopefully that'll work this time. Yeah, it's doing something. Oh, okay, it's not doing exactly what we want. Stop the machine! Right, we need a press as well. Okay, let's get a press in. Hoping we can just make one of those here. I think is that. Yep, wonderful. So let's get rid of that. Let's put the press in. If we dump all of these in here, are they going to skip the first bit and get made? Let's find out. Can't go having incomplete monorails sitting around everywhere. So, yep, okay, they're all getting completed. We're getting monorail. Wonderful. Once all of these have gone through, we can just add in some girders. All right, and this is going to make lots and lots of monorail for us. Obviously, we're not going to need absolutely loads of it today. We pretty much only need a bit to go around the station, but, we're going to need a lot in future. We're going around the whole island here. So I think I'm just going to leave that making monorail for the future for now. Now, when it comes to making the monorail train itself, that's where things get a little bit more complicated, because we're going to need a train station. We're going to need a bunch of... Oh, look, track factory. Wonderful. But we are going to need a station. We're going to need a bunch of train casings so we can actually make the bogies, and I want to make this a very steampunky looking train. Means I'm going to need a whole lot of brass. And of course, brass uses zinc. But despite our massive digging session earlier, I've only got 18 zinc left. Those copycat panels are really expensive, it turns out. So I once again need to head into the mines. Hopefully we can find another azurine pocket. That last one was absolutely wonderful. But I think we're just going to need to empty our drill here and go on another mining session. Can't wait to get zinc automated. One mining mission later, we've got a whole load of zinc. That should definitely tide us over for a little bit longer. And I need to cook up all of this copper as well, because we need to make ourselves some brass. The other thing we need, of course, is train casings. And for those, we need sturdy sheets, which we get from squirting lava onto powdered obsidian. Oh, geez. I think we're going to have to do a temporary setup for this somewhere. But I've got loads of brass, and I was going to make some brass blocks and just use those for the train. However, I have spotted these, yellow brass wrapped loco metal, and I think I want to use those instead. But the problem is, that means I need to dye some loco metal, and loco metal itself you can actually just get from blocks of iron, so we're going to make loads of that. That's not a problem. But yeah, the yellow dye, that's definitely a problem. I'm just going to make sure that this is how you make it. Yes, it is. Yep, riveted loco metal. So this is the stuff we need to make Just need to then turn it yellow. And then once we've done that, we'll use the brass in the middle, and that's going to give us what we want, hopefully. And I think these are connected blocks as well. And that should make our train look all fancy and steampunky. But I think the easiest way for us to get yellow dye is going to be to grind down sunflowers. However, I don't think we actually have one yet. No. Oh, lots of stuff in here, but no sunflowers. We've got some dandelions, but that's not going to give us too much. So I think we're going to have to try and find one. That means I need a nature's compass to search for sunflower plains and hope it's not too far away. 2,500 blocks. Okay, that's not too bad. And it's in that direction, which means we can go by boat. Excellent. Yoink. Oh, there's cherry trees as well. Let's grab some of that. I really need to get myself some wings. That took forever. But I do now have the sunflowers, and over here I've got a stash of bones somewhere. You're right there, Socks. What are you doing? We can get a whole load of bone meal, and now we just have all the yellow dye we could possibly want. And I think instead of just directly converting these into yellow dye, I believe we actually get a lot more out of them if we use the crushing wheels. Let's just chuck these in there. Oh yes, look at that. We've got loads of orange as well. Not that I need it. But now we can make our loco metal. Then we can turn that into yellow loco metal. Then we have to convert this into slashed loco metal. No, this one even. But that's the one we need. Oh, this is quite the process, isn't it? And then, finally, we can get what we want, and these should connect. Yeah, look at that. Wonderful. Now we just need to make train casings, which means I'm going to need to make a couple of create items. So what do we need? So we'll get some copper casings, and I want an item drain. We need to make ourselves a spout. Gonna need some pipes, hand crank, a couple of cogs, and a pump. That should just about do it. Now, I just need a bit of obsidian, and we don't have any here. We can wash that to get a couple, but we're probably going to need more than that. And I'm also going to need some lava, so maybe I should pop into the nether and see if we can grab some of that. Let's just get some buckets. Now, I believe there was a magma deposit down here somewhere. I don't think I grabbed all of it. Maybe I did. Oh, no, there it is. That should give us plenty of obsidian. I just need some lava. Ah, there's more magma here as well. Be rude not to. And let's just wash up a stack of this. Then we crush this down, which should give us obsidian powder. And if we're lucky, we'll get a lot of the obsidian back as well. Yep, look at that. We got 42 back. Brilliant. Now we just need to build a little contraption somewhere. I mean, to be honest, for now, I could just do it here. It's only going to be temporary, so it's nothing to worry about. Just need to get myself a depot here as well. And in fact, I forgot we also need to press it. So, maybe we can do something else here. So if I was to make another press, put that in... yeah, I remove that, put a spout. And if I'm clever about this, what I should be able to do is just put a... where's it gone? Where's my item drain gone? There it is. If I put that there, just start putting lava in here, that should get pumped into the other thing. Yep, wonderful. Now, hopefully, all I've got to do is put this in there. Yes, look at that. 30 sheets. I've just got to keep putting lava in here, but that's fine. Well, I've used up all my lava, but we've got 32 sturdy sheets. Wonderful. If I get myself a bunch of brass casings, we should be able to turn those into train casings. And then finally, we can actually go and build this monorail. There we go, train casings. Excellent stuff. With those, we can now make a station. Just need to get a compass. That should give us 2 stations. Wonderful. So while I think of it, we should probably also make some train controls. And yeah, we've still got some precision mechanisms. Good, because I've completely destroyed the machine that makes them. Okay, it's finally time to monorail.
Monorail. What's it called? Monorail. Once again. Monorail.
All right, so let's get this monorail in all across the top of this beam. Oh, I need to bring some more andesite bars as well. We need to finish that off, but that'll have to wait. For now, monorail. That'll sit right there. And we stick a station in. We'll just put a temporary one in for now and create a new train. And this is where we'll build our monorail. So I've been staring at this piece of track for about 5 minutes now, and I can't really figure out where I want to start. So I'm going to go hop into a creative world and mess around for a little bit, and hopefully when I come back, I'll have more of an idea of how I'm actually going to do this, because I didn't really think about the fact that the rail is quite high up, which means this thing is kind of in the way. I'll be back in a minute. Well, it's a good couple of hours later, but I'm back and I think I've got a plan, but I need to go get myself a few more resources. But I do think I've got a better idea of how I'm going to make this work now. But as usual, it is going to involve copycat panels, which means it's going to involve a lot of zinc. Thankfully, I think we've still got a bunch left over. Yeah, we've still got over 300 there, so that should be fine. So I'm just going to quickly make a bunch of stuff and I'll meet you back over the station in a moment. All right, I've got a bag of goodies. Let's see what we can do here. So we're going to start with the front carriage here, and we're going to use a lot of this brass. Hopefully that's going to work out nicely for us. Something else we're going to use are these copycat pipes because they give some really cool shapes. I like these. We stick a bracket there and another one. I might have to drop down to get to this, but we're going to stick a bracket facing upwards, something like that. To deal with the fact that this rail is basically up at the same level, what we're going to do is put in a couple of bits here. We're going to use copycat boards on the end of these bits. Stick the train controls in there and the seat there. That should work nicely. Then for this back bit here, what I want to do is put in some kind of steampunky looking engine type area. So we're going to want a combination of different pipes. We're going to want these big round boiler things. We're going to want some flywheels. We stick a boiler in there, flywheel on that side. Maybe one of these fancy pipes in here. We need to get that facing the right way though. How do we do that? That work? Yep, perfect. Maybe a pump there. Let's make that solid, potentially. All right, this is kind of working. The cool trick I found with these flywheels is if we put walls in like that, then put stairs on top, which will act as the roof, we get these cool little sort of pillar beam things, which I think work really well and give a lot of structure to the train, and it's also nice and brass. So, yeah, I think that works well. I think we'll stick a couple more boilers on there. Back, what we'll do is we'll stick a pipe, and then that one. Then another block, another wall, and of course the roof will carry on across this bit as well, and also out the front here. I then get some glass in. Then that's about how far I got in creative planning, which I think gives us a good start. It kind of gives us the feel of the tram. I've just got to do something similar for a passenger carriage, and then, I don't know, maybe another carriage or two. I don't really know yet. I think it'd be quite cool to have like a massive boiler system somewhere on this monorail, but then where are the passengers going to go? We'll figure that out later, but I think this thing does need a little bit more structure down the bottom here, and potentially another bogie as well. In fact, can we sneak one in there maybe? I think something else I want to do on this is to add a little bit more support down the bottom here. I've just added a few more finishing touches, a couple of bits on the roof here, some of these weird gear things, which I think work really well there. Also got some lights on the front, but I think I want to swap out this block here for a smelter or a furnace, but we don't have any of those just at the moment, and I want to get a sign of some kind up on the front of the tram as well. And I think if we were to make just like a shell that's similar to this, so the same kind of roof, similar pillars, and put that over here, I should be able to replace all this sort of stuff with some seats on the inside. At least that's my hope. And that way we'll have a lovely passenger wagon on this monorail. And in fact, while I'm off grabbing this smelter, I might grab a few other bits and bobs as well that will enhance the passenger cart area. And I do quite like the idea of maybe having a couple of display links up on the roofs of those things because they're quite digital looking. And I think they could just work nicely on the top of the tram. Question is, how do I actually make these? Brass casings, copper sheets, redstone torches. That should be doable. There we go. And I also wanted a blast furnace and some levers. There we go. That looks better on the front there with the furnace. And up on the roof here, I just want to try maybe putting in a lever and a display link. Yeah, that looks a bit better. Okay, so that is our first wagon done. Now we need to work out the next one. So let's start off with a bogie and maybe just put in some brass sheets there, or brass blocks there, I should say. Now, what we need to consider with this one is we do want to have seats going in, which means they're going to be sitting basically directly on the monorail, or directly next to, I should say. And the seats we're going to be using are these ones here, which just look awesome. Our passengers are going to be lovely and comfortable, but if these seats are going to go in, say, here and here, for example, and I guess we're going to need copycat boards to make this work, so can we just stick those on like that? I don't like the fact the arm comes through them. That's not ideal. Copycat panels are a bit thicker though, I think, aren't they? Yes, they are. Excellent. So if we were to maybe go 5 and then stick a block there. Seats were in like that. Can we get away with maybe using copycat boards on the floor? They don't seem to like placing there, so how about the copycat layers? Because they're thin as well, so maybe we can get away with these. Okay, yep, looks like this can work. What I did find was these cool little tables, and I think if we get these in the right way, that works, but now I can't have my floorboard in. And maybe attach the floorboard to this instead. Maybe just a normal copycat board. Nope, this might be another one I have to do from underneath. Aha, there we go. Yep, that works. Wonderful. Then if we put the entrance into the carriage in the middle, maybe? And my hope is we can just basically reflect that over on the back here as well. So we need copycat panels here. Beats in there and there and there. And we can just build up the rest of this as well and use the same trick we used there for the flywheels, I guess. But we're only going to be able to do that at the front and the back because obviously that's not going to work in the middle. Just need to grab myself some more of this copper so we can get a roof on the passenger train. And then I guess we're probably halfway there, maybe? I don't know. How many carriages are we going to put on this thing? I mean, I don't want to go overboard with it, so maybe just one passenger train and then something on the back. And there we go. I've got a roof on, and these display links really do make a difference. I really like how they look, and I think that's safe to say we have our passenger wagon sorted. But of course, for the third wagon, we do need to do something different, because we also need this to be a kind of delivery drop-off type area, which means we're going to need some form of storage, we're going to need some storage interfaces, and we're going to cram all that onto a carriage here that looks nice and steampunky. At least that's the hope. But I think I'm once again going to need to go grab a few more bits and bobs. I think I want to use vaults for this storage container, which means we're going to need a whole bunch of other resources and stuff and things to make this work. I've made myself some vaults and some portable storage interfaces, and I think we're good to go. So I think what I want to do is copy a similar sort of style to what we've got here for the base, except maybe get a few pipes in on this one. So something like that. That sort of length should do. If we then put in some blocks down the middle here, what I can do is get some vaults on. And these should sit nicely just above these pipes. If I just do some small sort of 3x3s, yeah, I think that works quite well. Then we'll also put in a few portable storage interfaces facing downwards. What I want to make sure I'm doing is every monorail that has a storage bit on it, I want to make sure that I'm putting it in the same place and so on. So we're going to add a few interfaces here, just so we've got options. Those three should do fine. I'm going to use some girders along here and across the top. And I think we could do with a few more pipes. So maybe I could do this. In fact, if we do that, can't we encase these in brass? Yeah, look at that. Perfect. Add a couple of brackets to that as well. Not so keen on this bit here, though. I think there's another type of angled girder we might be able to use. Yeah, this one here, the diagonal girder. If we maybe replace these two top bits. Oh, yes, that looks much better. And maybe on this side, we can have the pipes go up and over the top. And maybe we can just stick a flywheel on the side of it, because why not? So I think we're almost there. I just need to do something on top of these blocks. Maybe those levers. Now let's just add another carriage. I think I want to add some supports down here as well. I think for a little storage wagon, that's not looking too bad. Now, the last thing I think I want to do is just use these copycat slices along the edge here, just to give the roof a little bit more definition. And with that, I think our monorail is complete. We've got our driving wagon, we've got our passenger wagon, and we've got our storage wagon. But guess what I don't have? Super glue. As always, I always forget the super glue. I think I've got everything stuck together. The issue now is there's nowhere for the monorail to go. So I'm just going to extend this track a little bit, just so we can at least pull it out of the station and have a proper look at it. But in order to do that, we need somewhere for it to go. So let's build just a nice little column out here, see if we can make it look a little bit steampunky. Something like that, maybe? I don't know, we'll see. It'll do for now. What I want to do now, however, is assemble the train. And this train is gonna need a name, so let me know your suggestions in the comments. For now, we'll just call it the Steampunk Choo Choo. Now, let's see if we did actually stick it all together or not. Looking good so far. Oh, we've got some of the platform with us as well. We're gonna have to go drop that off. That's not ideal. Yeah, there we go. We're not bringing the station. Oh, look, the flywheel's spinning on the back train as well. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I think that works quite well. It looks all right from underneath as well. That's the only bit I couldn't really check while it was in the station. But, yeah, I'm pleased with that. A nice little steampunk monorail train. But sadly, that is all we've got time for today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.